Hello and welcome to Bike Social by Bennett. I'm Michael Mann and you join me here in the pit garage at the Jerez MotoGP circuit in southern Spain. We're here because Ducati have invited us to ride the new 2020 Panigale V2. Now this is a model very much based on the Panigale 959, the Euro 4 friendly. Of course we've got Euro 5 to consider now going into 2020. And the base model is pretty much the 959 underneath, but there's been a lot of work going on, especially with the engine to make it Euro 5 friendly. Bit of work with the aerodynamics, with the fairings, with the whole package. The rear end has been changed as well. You can tell by just looking at it with the much shorter exhaust compared to the 959, but also the single-sided swing arm. They're the main differences. So power is up by about 5 horsepower to 155, 10,750 RPM is peak power. And you've got a little bit more torque there as well to help you really pull out of the corners. Let's see how a lap of Jerez looks on this brand new bike.
Welcome to Jerez here in Spain on the new Panigale V2 around this beautiful MotoGP circuit. And when I say beautiful, I mean it's wide and it's flat. This is a long corner. It's almost like a double apex. You can't get greedy. You've got to spot the exit nice and early. There it is. What's interesting is, what's critical is the fact that the engine has got more power and is yet more efficient. Tight, pick it up, and we've got a fantastic new sports bike, aerodynamically, electronically, and with the engine too, to make it Euro 5 friendly. Short shift into 4 again, roll off the throttle. On this last corner. Got to keep the momentum going. There's a series of fast corners.
So here we are in the afternoon session of the Panigale V2 launch. Here at Jerez. Now it's been raining quite a bit, well, drizzling quite a bit over the lunch break, very consistently. So we've had a couple of dry sessions first thing this morning, and then the guys at Ducati have worked their Italian behinds off to fit all the test bikes with wet tyres. So it's allowed us to get out and about and see what the bike's like in the damp conditions. But I tell you what is great, it's really interesting how good the wet tyres are on this circuit. You know, it's a GP circuit, it's been resurfaced, it's really smooth, really flat, and the quality of the suspension, the brakes, the chassis, the power delivery, it's really been well worth going out in the wet sessions just to see what it's all about. So fundamentally, this motorcycle is the only twin-cylinder sports bike that Ducati have in their range after the introduction of the Panigale V4. So it's still a 955cc Super Quattro L-twin motor nestled in this monocoque frame from Ducati. Significantly, a single-sided swing arm and a new exhaust layout will make it easy to distinguish when you're comparing them side by side. And then with the new 2020 range of the V4, they've all got wings now. It's not just the V4R. So the V2 obviously doesn't have wings, as you can see. What it does do, it's part of the updates, is it's got this Panigale V4-esque front. So those headlights are nestled in to those oversized air intakes. And then the fairings themselves, this is called a double layer fairing for obvious reasons. They're all new and they replicate what you see on the V4 as well. It's got 5 extra horsepower, takes up to 155 horsepower, and that peaks at 10,750, and then torques up to 76 and a bit. I think that equates to around 104 Newton meters. Peaks at about 9,000 RPM. It loves it, loves it, loves it, loves it when you twist that throttle. And it plows through the rev range. It gets from sort of 8 to 10.5, 11 so fast. So of course it has to meet Euro 5 emissions, which it now does. They've managed to increase the performance without having to expand the engine capacity. It still comes with all the trickery, the Brembo brakes, the shower suspension. The rear shock is by Sachs. It's slightly longer, and with the extra, the seat's longer as well. It's also got more foam, which overall contributes to the 10mm higher seat height. And that engine, the performance has been increased by the more efficient air ducts and new fuel injectors. So what's impressed me the most around here at Jerez is the smoothness of the throttle application, how easy it is to ride. It's not as intimidating as, let's say, a V4. But when Ducati call this their mid-capacity sports bike, it's got that Italian quality, it's got the character from the engine, the L-twin booming beneath you. You've got a new TFT display and all of the electronics have been upgraded. So you're looking at the next generation cornering ABS, traction control, and it adds to the overall essence of the ride, of the reward. I'm really chuffed with how this thing goes. It's a delight. Suspension wise, yeah, it's manually adjustable, so you can you can do what you want with that. Possibly on track for an experienced ride. It might be a little bit soft, but do you know there's no dive, and then the rebound, both front and back, is really well engineered. The brakes are really good, really good. Like the initial bite is strong, and you feel like you can trust them. It's consistent. You can trail brake into the corners with a lot of confidence as well. The way it holds its line, the chassis is fantastic. If there were going to be an S model, then you might be looking at perhaps lighter weight wheels. They might be able to add some electronic suspension, or if not, at least some Olin suspension to upgrade it. But then you're looking at a price increase, because all those components cost money, and the cost will end up with the customer. So this is 15 grand, which is a good price point, I think, considering what you're getting for your money, and considering you're still 5 grand shy of the base model V4. Quick shifter up and down this time. Again, smooth as butter. Really, you don't need much of a nudge on the lever to get it up or down. Coming along the back straight here at Jerez, you're in 5th, possibly 6th, and if you're going down the gears quickly, it possibly won't get into 2nd as quickly as you might want it to do. But you just got to wait half a second before selecting that. Hey, overall, I think Ducati are onto a winner here. It sits alone in the market, really. The only other one I could think of was the MV, what's it called, the Super Veloce 800, the 800 anyway, the 3-cylinder, which makes a similar amount of power, but it's about 20,000 euros. They're in dealerships December, January time, and I would urge you to have a go on one. Alright, so there we have it, the 2020 Panigale V2 from Ducati. Thanks so much for joining me, and you can read the full review at bikesocial.co.uk.